What's good, everybody? It is the Big Time Sports Podcast, and I'm your host, Perci, Garner. And we got a lot to catch up on. I've had some guests on, but there's some things that I need to talk about. And, hopefully you guys enjoy this discussion and leave some your opinions down below. Again, this is the Big Time Sports Podcast. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you like and subscribe, please, as we're trying to grow our subscribers again ever since the debacle with YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. Hopefully you're enjoying all the content on our YouTube and our Facebook page. But let's just get right into this. We've had some good shows. We got to talk with Isaac Bolin. We got to talk with, I've been getting a lot of compliments on the episode we had, Coach Giovanni for TCC. And, Coach Iona, it was fun to have him. And I can't wait to see him on this upcoming event that I'm about to talk about here in a second. But before we get into that, I just want to go through a whole bunch of things that we missed, a whole bunch of things that I think worth mentioning, but we might not be diving directly deep down into it. There's some things I want to talk about. But if you missed the live stream, there's this classic softball tournament. It's called Uncle Charlie's Helping Hospice Tournament. And I think they do all ages, but we were covering the 18U. And I just want to mention that the Fever Elite team beat the Ohio Valley team in the championship. So congratulations to Fever Elite winning the tournament. And hopefully you guys were able to catch that on Big Time Sports YouTube. Pretty amazing. I mean, I feel like that's all the results I'm going to give. But we got fall sports coming up. So there's going to be a lot more of that up here in the upcoming shows. And hopefully you aren't missing any of the Big Time Sports shows with Charlie. He had Brendan McCune and his girlfriend, Maddie, on the show. And it's a pretty good treat. Make sure you check that out on the YouTube page as well. And, fall sports are approaching. And but before that, we're going to have the Tuscarawas County football season preview at the Dover Senior Center. That'll be August 5th. Make sure you go check that out. I've been going every year, and it's pretty interesting. It's going to be weird this year without Coach Shift. Let's just say it's just going to be weird. He's been fun the last few years doing this with, and this is being put on by the Tuscarawas County Sports Hall of Fame. And yes, we got flies flying around here. I let one in when I came into the studio, so now it's going to annoy me. But no, the season preview is pretty fun. You get to ask coaches questions, and they get to talk about their teams, introduce you to their key players and who they're really looking forward to stepping up for them this year. Should be fun. It's always exciting to get some good food and just kind of spend time with a lot of people who love football in Tuscarawas County. And, really looking forward to it. And shout out to Tuscarawas County Sports Hall of Fame. The committee does a great job. Tom Farbizo, the whole gang just love what they're doing. And I'm glad that they kind of started this thing and just creates an opportunity to, spend some more time discussing sports, which we all love. Now, there was also another big event that happened the weekend of July 12th, and that's the Challenger Baseball Tournament. So there were some things that happened. I was involved in, I volunteered years ago. I may or may not been a great golf cart driver. We're not going to discuss that. But I've been going back for the opening ceremony, and Greg Kimball, they were big sponsors, Kimball Companies, of the Challenger Baseball Tournament this year. And he was throwing out the first pitch. And he told me he hadn't picked up a ball in 60 years. So he wanted me to be his buddy. And he kind of did that because when you're involved with Challenger Baseball, usually a lot of them who are, they got some physical disabilities and they need some assistance from a buddy. And I was his buddy for the first pitch. And it was fun. I didn't deliver a great pitch. I was trying not to, I'm only accurate when I throw hard. And, Kevin Corrin, city councilman, He was the catcher, and he tried his best. But when I didn't get to the plate, it's kind of hard with no baseball experience of Kevin to scoop it up. So, but at the end of the day, we got it done. I stayed after, signed some autographs, took some pictures from a lot of the players that I don't get to see outside of the county. So that was pretty cool. I'm sure Tuscarawas County Challenger Baseball had a good season this year, and it was all great, even though it was 175,000 degrees. But they have a big tent, and it's really good. I think it was measured over 1,500 people that were over at the Dover Park during this tournament. So, we got to display, what Dover City is about, and hopefully it was no one got seriously injured. But I've heard good things, and it's always good to host that tournament. And shout out to Tuscarawas County Challenger Baseball. Now I do want to give you a little preview, so I'm going to be going in and discussing a little bit, how expensive travel sports are. Obviously, directly with me is travel baseball. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of go through some things, and I want to mention some things, that I feel like are worth mentioning. They've been on our Facebook, but I just want to mention, Louisville Leopards, they joined the AAC. Phillies baseball field. I got sent some photos from Kelly Ricklick. He's showing me, the improvements are underway, a lot of construction, they're rebuilding dugouts. It's just, I can't wait to see the finished product, and should be fun. And hopefully he keeps sending me updates. And I think they're on our Facebook page as well. So you can take a look at those. And should be fun. I know they got the new scoreboard that they did before, and now they're underway with the field. So it should be good. It was well needed, and can't wait to see the finished product. And then, so if you guys aren't familiar, I'm not sure if Big Time Sports shared it, but I did a podcast with Ted Ginn Jr. When he was inducted to the National. Well, I don't know why I said it like that. When Ted Ginn Jr. was inducted to the National High School Football Hall of Fame last year, I had him on the show on 99 miles per hour. Went up to Cleveland. Josh helped out a lot because it was crazy. We weren't in this studio. We were outside by one of the 6 beautiful Cleveland signs. And if not, I'll make sure I get it posted on Big Time Sports. But the National High School Football Hall of Fame is a pretty amazing thing. They're getting off the ground, and now it's full force, and they're having some big names in. And I think in this year they inducted Allen Iverson and Michael Vick. There's just there's some legit people that they're recognizing right now, which I think is well deserved, obviously. I mean, Allen Iverson obviously is an NBA player, NBA Hall of Famer, but it's pretty cool that he's in the National High School Football Hall of Fame. And I just want to reiterate, this was the National. This isn't Ohio. This was the National High School Football Hall of Fame, and it was in Canton. But now they are relocating to Brook Park, so they should be pretty close to the Browns' new stadium. So, leave all your comments about the Browns' new stadium. But we're not going to get into that. I do want to mention, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Hopefully what I read is true, and it's not just a fake story. But it is sad. But rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Obviously legend for what he's known for in wrestling and all that stuff. So he was a little bit before my time, but I actually met him down in Florida when I was down there living and starting my professional baseball career. And he interacted well with fans and just people who always saw him out in the wild. So, I feel like we're losing a lot of, sports legends and just entertainers, and we're just losing a lot of them. I guess it's around that time for people that were adults and, entertaining when I was growing up. I guess it's coming to that age now. But I feel like for me, 70 is still kind of young to be passing away. I feel like once you get mid 80s, 90s, then, but 60s, 70s, I just feel like, you're still young. you know.
Find a rewarding career close to home at Kimball. You'll find outstanding benefits, a supportive team, and opportunities for career growth. Working for a local family company really makes a difference. Apply today.
I'm trying to delay this travel sports pricing and costs for parents. I think you saw it on the Big Time Sports Facebook. It's talking about, people always was worried about diapers and all these things, and yeah. So I play travel baseball. I always prioritized Dover baseball, and then I would go join my team, my travel team after. And yeah, my parents, they wouldn't have had the money to pay for me, especially the prices now. I know it would have been a little bit different. And it's also a little bit cheaper for me since I was a pitcher and didn't have to buy a bat and all this stuff. But, I had a basic glove, didn't really have a name brand glove, uniforms provided, and I just didn't have to pay to be on the team, didn't have to buy a lot of equipment. All I think I had to buy, I think, were cleats and my glove, and we were good to go. I just, it's crazy what it's become. I know parents are paying thousands of dollars to play travel sports, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I'm never going to tell you, hey, if your child wants to play travel sports, I'm never going to say don't do that. I'm just saying the prices is getting out of control. I can't I can't imagine once my kids get to the teenage years. My son's almost there, but I'm afraid to see the prices. Fortunately, he's not looking forward to, he's not, trying to play travel baseball or anything like that. He does love soccer, but I feel like there's not much equipment involved in soccer. So, and fortunately, Dover has a good soccer program. So we haven't been traveling, across Ohio to play soccer. So, but I know there's people that do, and man, that makes my pockets itch just thinking about the amount of money that people are spending on these travel teams. And I don't understand. I don't understand how I was able to play on my team, not pay for anything. I don't know if we just had, one guy or a few sponsors and made it to where players didn't have to pay. And I know prices of stuff has changed, and I'm assuming there's all these fees to get in tournaments. But I'm just curious, like, how are we getting into tournaments when I was, because we were playing in pretty big tournaments. And my team was, we were the Ohio Thunder. I don't think that team exists anymore. And if I think back on our team, we had me, Devon, Justin Gill, Derek Dietrich. I know there's other. I'm assuming there's other people that got drafted, but we had a pretty stacked team where at least 6 of our players got to play professional baseball. May not have made it to the big leagues, but got to play professional baseball. And I don't know how many teams can say that, but the Ohio Thunder, we were, obviously Derek Dietrich had the most, the best career out of everybody and the longest career, but we were a pretty stacked team. And we were playing in tournaments in Chicago and, all across America, but playing like we played Team Japan. I mean, we got destroyed, but, we played Team Japan. We were playing teams from Seattle who it was the best players representing Seattle's. And I just don't remember, my family having to come out of their pocket for anything. We were even staying in hotels. I don't know how it all worked. I just know I feel for the parents now because it's crazy. But I'm interested to hear people's feedback. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't do travel sports. I'm just like, man, these travel programs, isn't there another way to subsidize it so you're not charging these families so much? But I guess then maybe you have to fundraise, and I don't know. Maybe people just don't want to fundraise, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll pay it all. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, you're getting more experience. Even though I was a firm believer of playing multiple sports, my travel baseball season would get cut short when it was time to go play football. Um, but I'm not ever going to tell someone how they should, unless they ask me, but how they should, spend their sports career, the time, what sport they're dedicating their time to. And I've had to speak, people have asked me before to speak to a student body or some athletes and tell them about, how it's harmful to specialize in a sport and forego other sports. The way I look at it is if you don't have any interest in playing the other sports, then don't play them. But if you, like me, even though I wasn't great at basketball, it was my favorite sport. And I was never going to stop playing basketball unless I didn't make the team or something like that. But for football and baseball, those were the things that came natural to me. So I focused on those more, and I didn't really spend off seasons working on my basketball game. I mean, I would play. I would play basketball a lot, but at the end of the day, my mind was like, hey, football and baseball are the things that are going to get me to the next level playing, and those are the things I focused on. But basketball, yeah, I just couldn't see myself quitting that and just focusing on the two other sports, or even quitting two and focusing on one. Like, I just felt like you learn so many other things playing other sports, so many other types of body movements that can possibly help you in other sports. But again, I'm not here to tell you don't specialize. If the kid feels like they don't want to play another sport and they want to focus all year round on one sport, I mean, I'm not one of those parents that's big into making my kids, do a certain thing. Obviously in life, making them clean up and do chores around the house, that's normal. But I mean, when it comes to sports, I'm never going to say, hey, son, I know you like soccer, but you're playing baseball this spring. You're not playing spring soccer. Like, that's not how I'm going to do. Only thing I will do is if he tries to not do anything, he's doing something. So, but yeah, I don't get it. But you also got to think about the experiences, the bonds that you can, the relationships you can create with, a lot of teammates. A lot of those guys I was playing travel baseball with, spent a lot of time with them. I mean, to this day, if I just see someone on the team, I might not have seen them in 20 years. But if I see them, it's all love. I'll, recognize them, of course, say what's up, and reminisce on old times. But I think it's up to, the kid and the parent to see if it's worth investing in one single sport and playing that sport all the time and spending all this money. And, I hope everybody makes it to the next level, but we all know that's not the case. But experiences are amazing. My experience playing with the Indians 2016 was amazing. I'll never forget that. But I just, it's just crazy to me, the amount of money that that is spent on travel sports. But and one thing I'm hearing that flag football for girls is going to be an Ohio official Ohio sports high school sports thing, which is pretty amazing because I know that's been growing over the years. So looking forward to that. That's awesome. And then, let me know what you think about that. Are you guys letting your daughter go out for flag football? It looks fun. I never played flag myself. It wasn't a thing that, they had. It was just tackle football from what I remember. And I knew some girls that played tackle football. But it's pretty interesting, giving the girls another outlet, another opportunity for a different sport. And even though it's flag football, it gets physical. So don't, and I know everybody saw that catch from the receiver going to Ohio State in flag football. That was nuts. So Ohio State has something to look forward to there. But yeah, we're going to be having Galena joining us on the next episode. Still trying to get Coach Ifton here. Going to be having some other football coaches and because it's upon us, it's happening quick. So, and then also we're going to be having we're going to try to get Garraway's golf team in here as well. So lots of things happening. The schedule is looking good. Maybe I'll start putting out who we got coming up on the show. But yeah, exciting stuff. Again, always stay locked in. Big Time Sports, YouTube, Facebook, to see the content, to see the live stream of the games, all those things happening. Also, you can go to our website, bigtimesportsohio.com, and that's got all that in one place. And you can go you can listen, you can watch this podcast, you can go right to the Facebook page. A lot of things you can do. So, very exciting stuff. I love being able to discuss certain things with you guys. I try not to criticize and tell people what to do, but at the end of the day, I can only tell you what I did and what I think, and sound off in the comments about what your opinion is. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about, hey, are these prices for travel sports out of control, or give me some reasons why it's like, is it just a part of it? Prices or everything going up. That's just how it's going to be. That's the landscape of travel and AAU sports, and it's only going to get worse pricing wise. I mean, and I have heard a lot of negative stuff about AAU basketball in the landscape of that right now. So youth sports to me is more, and obviously it's easy for me to say, but it's more about learning life lessons, building up the strength and courage to deal with adversity, and just learning life lessons to carry on into your professional lives. Banking on being a professional athlete is tough, and to be honest, I believe I've said this on the show that I did not believe I was going to be able to make it as a professional athlete coming out of this area. And that's no knock to where I'm from. It's just, you don't see it a lot, so it was, I didn't think it was ever, a realistic thing, but I never, people around here supported me, helped me keep my dreams alive. They never, to my face, they never said anything negative about my dreams of wanting to be a professional athlete. And I think that's important. I know there's a local student here who really has his eyes set on playing professional sports. And someone wanted me to kind of talk to them and tell them that that's not realistic. Only way I would kind of rephrase that is still have that dream of being a professional athlete and work hard at whatever sport you want to play. God dang it. But at the end of the day, and I don't want to say put all your eggs in that basket, because no matter what you're doing outside of school, school should be important to you. And getting your schoolwork, getting good grades, and kind of planning your future outside of sports is important. I'm never going to advocate for saying, hey, skip school, work on your sport, or hey, don't focus on school, focus on said sport. It's important that school is the priority. I mean, you have to be at school anyway, so you might as well put forth a great effort and really apply yourself. So if sports doesn't work out, or you have an injury, no matter what situation comes up, you always can say, you know what, I might not have got a scholarship for football, basketball, baseball, softball, name the sport, but I have a great GPA. My attendance is great. I scored well on my ACT, SAT scores, and I get to go to a college that I want to go to. Or, I took classes at Buckeye, or I took classes at Kent State Tusk, and I'm already halfway to my bachelor's degree. Whatever it is, that should never be sacrificed in your journey to play professional sports or play collegiate sports. It's all part of it, and it's a part of your duty as an athlete, because we're all student athletes. So didn't really want to get on a soapbox and talk about all that, but I'm gonna get out of here. So again, we got Galena joining us next week. I did a podcast with my brother on 99. I'll be posting that to Big Time Sports, so make sure you check that out. We're editing that right now. And then, yeah, we'll catch you in the next episode. Love you guys. Peace.